We got the guys here. I'm not turning Ronnie's microphone on until he can act right with it. Jeez. Philip, who you got here?
I've got David Pennington back from his sabbatical.
Huh.
And Ronnie's beside
I thought he
me,
was
too.
here
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, well.
And the week before.
Yeah.
And the
the
It's
week
still
before.
we're still getting used to him being back around here.
Okay. Good thing they saved you a seat, Dave.
Hey, let me just tell you this.
We
Have
started
you,
to give it to a comedian.
have you noticed
We
that the
told you
views
about that.
have went up on Facebook since I came back?
Well, it's
I had to come help you,
some
too.
of them,
Oh, my word.
Not saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a competition where one of us takes a week off and see who gets the most views on it. Then
Oh, my word.
Well, I know one thing. If Ronnie took off, it dropped down to nothing.
She just don't like that.
Ronnie, you touch that mic again. We're going to have trouble.
Turn him off.
Capiche?
Got me off.
okay. All right, so we've got so today we're going to start off with a computer history lesson actually.
Hey, wait a minute.
Okay.
Before we get that far.
Yeah.
So, you're the camera guy, right? And you do all the commercials on a lot of stuff, and you shot a lot of my videos.
I've done a
So
couple things.
we're bringing you over to the warehouse, Brian and I. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to shoot a video, and we're going to put it on Facebook. We're going to officially challenge Mike and Frank, the American Pickers. They came to the house. And
Right.
So we're actually going to challenge them to a pick-off here in Tennessee.
All right. Well, what does a pickoff consist of?
Well, we'll let them pick the say like 10 locations here in Tennessee, and so we'll draw one, they'll draw one,
Oh, okay.
and whichever one comes out with the best
With the best stuff.
is-
for the
is
best
the winner.
price.
What do
For
you
the
think?
best price.
Yeah, for the best.
Whoever makes the most out
Yeah.
of it. Let's say it like that.
Now, when you say location, do you mean like a specific store or
No,
or
it's
just
going
a
to be
town?
random, he
Just
said.
just
a
a
town.
just a location here in Tennessee.
Whoever's got stuff they
Okay.
want to sell.
They'll pick a town, we'll pick a town, or we'll all pick something in the same town. It don't matter to us.
Okay.
Because I really have confidence that Brian and I can outpick them.
Possibly.
What do
Yeah.
you mean possible?
Well, the only reason I would think of giving them an edge is they might have deeper network pockets than
Well,
you
no,
do,
it won't
guys.
matter because what we'll do,
I
we'll
don't
let
think they do.
people from Tennessee, send in some locations to pick.
Yeah.
So we'll put those picking places that they all decide is a good spot because they go
Okay.
look them over and make sure they got stuff.
Right.
And then we'll put the paper in a jar. We'll draw one, they draw one, and we'll go pick.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a good idea.
And you're coming with me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You got to
coming, Ronnie?
You got to video it.
You coming?
Yeah, I'll come.
All right. And you watch Brian and I, and we're going to outpick them.
Okay.
Matter of fact,
You've been posting pictures of some really great stuff on Facebook lately. Where
Well,
have you been going to find all this?
everywhere.
Oh,
like
he's got candy machines.
listen to
and
this. A
sun
lady called
signs
me.
and-
A lady called me last night, and her grandpa and grandma owned a store and a service station for years. 70, 80 years they owned the same property on the other side of Fayetteville, going toward Huntsville. So they passed away, and so they ended up with a bunch of stuff. So she called me like a bunch of oil cans and coat racks and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And let's see, she called me last night. It's hard to keep up with all of, like somebody else called me about coming and looking at something. I mean, I'm always getting the calls.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's how I end up with all that
That
stuff put
helps.
on Facebook.
Okay. Let's see. Seems like you're posting good finds like a couple of times a week right now.
Yeah.
It seems like there's been a whole bunch of stuff. So
Well,
I was just wondering if you had found a spot that you
I
were.
figured out.
That's
Going
normal.
back
I
to
figured out what I really need to do,
anymore.
Philip.
What?
And I should have done this, to start with, instead of getting sidetracked. But I need to concentrate on picking stuff because I like doing it, and that's what I need to be doing instead of other stuff.
Okay.
And I ain't gonna mention the other stuff, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Stuff that you enjoy.
Well, stuff that took up almost a year's of my time
Yeah.
that I could have been picking.
Yeah.
So let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
So Ronnie's got an interesting story today, and you've got an interesting story, or a couple of them.
Okay.
Well, one of them is about something about a computer.
Okay, so there's going to be a live auction on September 25th in Boston of an Apple One computer. Apple One, when people think of really, really old Apple computers, they think of the Apple II, and that was the one that kind of looked like a typewriter. It had a keyboard on it and a little bit of depth to it, and then after that came the Mac or the Macintosh. But this is the Apple One that you would buy from like the back of a computer magazine, and it's a green circuit board with a bunch of chips hand soldered onto it with some capacitors, and it's got connectors on it for you to plug in your own keyboard and monitor. So this didn't even have a keyboard or monitor.
They actually sold those as kits to start with, and they sold like 50 or 100 kits. I don't remember what
Yeah.
it was. Might have been 200. But anyway, they were selling the kits, and then Steve Jobs has the idea, well, let's put them together and we'll sell more, because most people aren't electronically savvy.
Right. They
you
said
know.
this is the first computer that you could buy that you didn't have to solder on.
That
yourself.
was their reasoning behind that.
For a hobbyist computer. Yeah.
And then when that done good, they started designing, the next one, Apple II.
Yeah. So let me get on the story. Okay, so there was only 200 built in 1976. They sold for $666.66. Home computers weren't for the masses back then, and with the technology, programmers could only do a couple of things. They could write small programs, play a couple of video games that were text-based, and that's pretty much it. This particular Apple One is unique because it hasn't been modified and the unit still works. And there's a picture of it online. He's got it rigged up to a vintage keyboard and a small black and white monitor. And so the boot up screen, there's not much to it, just flashing all the empty characters. That's the spots where you type in. And the live auction they expect to be exciting. Bobby Livingston, Executive Vice President for Amherst, New Hampshire based R&R auction, says they can trace this Apple One's origin. This particular board was purchased from the original owner for $300 in 1976. The original guy only had it for about 3 months. He was a mainframe guy and he didn't want to mess with it, so he sold it to our client. The seller wants to remain anonymous as he or she stands to make a lot of money off the purchase from 40 years ago. So he bought it for $300. The estimated auction price is going to be $300,000. And with this kind of cash, the winner is buying a piece of Apple history and the Steve Wozniak legend. So I think it's going to go for more than $300,000. I mean, this is the people who are into this, and are really into it. And there's only 200 made.
That computer didn't
And
even
it
have an
still
operating
works.
system loaded on it.
Really?
Yeah, you had to program it yourself.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Man, there was no GUI interface, the graphical user interface where you click
Yeah.
with your mouse.
Oh, no,
There was
no,
not
no.
that.
Definitely not.
There was no mouse.
Yeah. So they said that this is Steve Wozniak talking. The co-founder was Steve Jobs of Apple. He said, "The summer that I built the Apple One computer, I was totally aware that a revolution was close to starting. Steve Jobs came into town. He'd pop in and see what I was up to, the latest thing I designed for fun, and then he'd somehow turn them into some money for both of us. Jobs and Wozniak would go on to make a lot of money, but not off the Apple One. It was the Apple II, released a year later in 1977, that would forever change home computing." Corey Cohen, the Apple One expert, says anyone willing to spend the kind of money expected in the auction is likely to keep the vintage computer behind glass. From a layout perspective, it's considered a piece of art, said Cohen, and many people hang these on the wall.
I would want to look it up and use it.
You know what, though? Me, I'm not that, I get by on computers. I'm not no expert like you two. But to me, it just looks like a dang replacement service board or something you'd see in a TV. Or
Yeah, exactly. It does.
I mean, that's all it looks
On a
to
piece
me.
of wood.
Yeah.
That's basically all it is. But, he built that board from scratch.
Yeah, I know. It's just amazing.
Let me see if I can.
Very, very intelligent.
See if
guy.
you while you're doing it, why don't you look up some stuff and see? Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
see,
you're
let me
doing it.
pull up
Okay.
some Apple computers. See what
Yeah.
we get on this is a.
You done completed?
Yeah.
Well, have you done? Won't you do the sold? That and don't waste your time on completed.
I am so. I thought.
No, it looks like
Did
I don't
miss,
see no
did
green.
I miss my button?
Do the
Oh,
do
yeah, I missed my button. I clicked the wrong one.
you, look. It's really easy, Philip. If it's green, it's sold.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you're scrolling down and you see black stuff, you're in the wrong.
Okay, all right. So we have an Apple II computer.
See, I told you that would bring some money.
Near
Now, that's
excellent
Apple II he's
cosmetic.
talking about.
Powers up. 6 bids on that for $5,001. Here's a 1984 Apple Macintosh. It's sold for their buy it now is $2,500. They came with the case and or the box and everything. And Apple Lisa, which was like their portable Apple II, went for $2,100. This is a very clean working Apple II computer, $1,500. Another Lisa, or no, this is a Macintosh model style one, $1,250. So yeah, I didn't go into Macs until about 3 years ago. I was a diehard IBM guy. So but I knew my friends who had these, and too bad, pretty sure none of them held on to them.
What was that thing you had, Ronnie, when you went to Motlow? You had some kind of little small.
I had a Commodore 64.
So
That was my first computer too. Yeah.
So look up a Commodore 64.
I saw the movie War Games and thought that was awesome. So
Yeah,
Was that computer in it?
I had to write programs for mine.
What's that got? Oh, you mean you saw it on the computer?
yeah, it was just a home computer that they did
And
that
it
with.
hooked to a black and white TV.
Well, look at there.
And
Yeah.
it had a cassette player for storage.
Commodore 64, rare boxed with accessories, complete. $910 was to buy it now. Here's a huge Commodore 64 and VIC 20, which was the little brother to the Commodore 64, with hundreds of games. There's actually 4 computers, a floppy disk drive, a bunch of accessories, hundreds of games, 57 bids on that one, and it sold for $810.
And I've got a Tandy 64 at the house right now I'm working on.
Oh, really?
We'll see what it's worth.
Here's a portable Commodore SX64 executive computer. So that was your, your original notebook, but it was the size of a
Briefcase?
luggage.
I
No,
saw-
it's
luggage?
bigger, like two briefcases.
I sold
probably.
one last year.
$661
You sold one?
with 16 bids.
I sold one last
How much
year
did
on
it
eBay.
bring?
I don't remember.
Oh. Here's a new in box Commodore 64 computer, $610 with 36 bids. So they're, like I say, that was one of the first. It was my first, and they were really, really powerful for the time. Let me try IBM 8088 or 8086, which is the original. Vintage IBM computer. No, this is just $100 for those. So the IBMs, the ones that I was into, didn't hold its value.
Well, that's kind of like, what was those two different VCR? I mean, those
Yeah.
two different types. One of them was,
You talking about the beta?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
Beta. And what was the other
VHS.
one?
VHS.
Yeah, that's the one that hit, and everybody. So you had two different players, and everybody finally
Yeah.
they give up on the other one. You ready to take a break?
I think we need to pay the bills, boys.
All right. Yeah. You
Have
gotta pay
to.
the bills.
Hello, I'm Pickin' Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in, get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking!
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
All right, and we're back, and we're gonna get off these computers, and we're gonna talk to you about Civil War tokens. I don't know if y'all know what Civil War tokens were, but they were printed by individual companies and stores and businesses, and used as currency. And Philip's gonna tell you a little bit about them.
Yeah, I'm curious about these because this was new to me. I'd never heard of tokens until recently.
Oh, they were hot.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
back in the day.
not as like a collectible something, but not as something that you could actually
never seen
use
a
for
token?
money.
Well, I have
Have you ever
actually-
went to a car wash and put one of those free tokens in?
True, yeah, but you
Okay,
can't
so
really
you have
can't
heard of
go
it.
to Food Line and use it.
How you know?
Well,
You ever
okay.
tried it?
Maybe I'll try it today.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
look, how much is a token? How much is a car wash? If they give you a token to wash a $12 car,
Well,
right?
they use the token is to run the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, but they have
afterwards, yeah.
tokens.
They used to
can
have them that
actually-
you stick in the car wash
in the car
itself.
wash itself.
Oh, okay.
So if you had a
Oh, yeah.
$12 car wash token, surely you could go to a local merchant and barter.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go.
I'll ask them if it's okay
But
with them that you
I-
tell
Well,
me
now,
I could do
just
it.
vacuum though, that's not much to that.
I honestly believe that I have passed up
$1
on a lot of those because
You said that.
I remember seeing things like that. I mean, just looked like that, and I thought it was just junk advertising. That's what I thought it was.
Well, when it became clear that Civil War would not be over quickly, people began stashing away federal currency. According to John Ostendorf, author and secretary of the Civil War Token Society, an educational nonprofit collector organization, the federal government's mintage output was insufficient, and so quickly hoarded that many Americans did not see a federal coin between 1862 and 1864. That's significant.
Well, let me tell you something. Now, the South printed their own money, and at the end of the war, it was
Right,
worthless,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So here we are today. That worthless money brings more than face value,
Yeah.
Really? Man, I was given
How about
some as
that?
a kid, and we played with it,
and you didn't
threw
save
it away. Yeah,
that's what
it
happened.
wasn't worth anything.
That's why. You know what? That's why you're
couldn't
on the show,
spend it,
so you
could
can
you?
learn a little bit.
I know that's what. A short-lived attempt at using postage stamps as money was tried, but fragile stamps could not stand up to the daily grind of passing through so many hands. As a solution for much-needed tender for commercial operations, tokens became the nation's small change currency during the Civil War. Civil War tokens were privately minted and distributed. The tokens are divided into 3 classifications: store cards, patriotic tokens, and sutler tokens. All 3 were utilized by currency and are differentiated by their designs. A great number were struck in copper, some lesser amounts in brass and nickel. Some examples were made from other compositions as well. The tokens were used mainly in the Northeast and in the Midwest. Patriotic tokens typically displayed a patriotic slogan or image on one or both sides. The majority of these tokens were decidedly pro-Union. Some common examples of slogans found on patriotic tokens were "The Union must and shall be preserved," "Union forever," and "Old Glory." Civil War store cards might seem a misnomer, as most are actually tokens. They differentiated from patriotic tokens in that one or both sides of the display the name and or location of a privately owned business. Business that could afford it had 2 custom dies made, with both advertising the business. Otherwise, only one side displayed the business's information. Store cards served the same function as patriotic, replacing the 1-cent coin for making change, but also served as advertising pieces. Sutler tokens are similar to store cards, but rather than listing the name of a private business, these tokens often bore the name of a particular army unit and the name of the sutler who conducted transactions with the regiment. Sutlers provided goods to soldiers, many times at exorbitant prices. Of the Civil War tokens, sutler tokens are by far the rarest and are most prized by collectors. An extremely rare Johnson Island, Ohio POW camp sutler note sold for $3,818. So most of these were pennies, by the way. So a not even official penny token sold for $3,818. This undated sutler note was used during the Civil War at the Union POW camp located in Sandusky Bay, Lake Erie. The first of these privately minted tokens appeared in the autumn of 1862, offered by H.A. Ratterman in Cincinnati, Ohio. In the spring of the following year, New York merchants issued their own. It is estimated that by 1864, there were 25 million tokens, nearly all redeemable for 1 cent, in circulation, made up of 7,000 to 8,000 different varieties. On April 22nd, 1864, Congress enacted the Coinage Act. This 1864 act is most memorable for the introduction of the phrase "In God We Trust" on the newly created 2-cent piece. This effectively ended the usage of Civil War tokens. In addition to authorizing the minting of the 2-cent piece, the act changed the composition of the 1-cent piece with a copper-nickel alloy to a lighter, less thick piece composed of 75% copper. The new 1-cent piece was much closer in weight to the Civil War tokens and found greater acceptance among the public. Let's see where I'm at. Prices today range from $20 well into the thousands. Rarities has much to do with the price of the token. Even in lower states of preservation, they can easily sell for several $1,000s. Store cards from rural areas are rarer than those in major metropolitan areas and are thus harder to find. Women and African American merchants are even more rare and carry a hefty premium. Although the collectible value of their tokens is determined chiefly by the rarity, condition and composition are also important. Far fewer tokens were made in the South, either patriotic or by merchants. Most people had to rely on the Confederate script back then. So,
I'm looking on the Civil War Token Society's webpage here,
yeah,
and there's one from Memphis, Tennessee here.
that's
It
a
was
25 cent or
Now, these were some they were auctioning off to members of their society. This 25-cent one from Memphis, Tennessee, brought $1,700.
Wow.
And it was the highest one out of the lots that they were selling. There's one under it from Nashville. It's called Coal Pen Depot 72 on Cherry Street in Nashville. The back side is unreadable of it. It didn't sell.
Huh.
There's no price on it. But now they have several lots down here. And then I've got some on eBay we can look at. Lot number 2, let me see what that was. Let's see.
So is this place out of Memphis, or is
This
it
is the society that you were talking about
Okay.
in that article. They don't show lot number. They don't show lot number 2. Let's see what 6 brought. Let me see here.
You got some more coins?
They've got them at the bottom of the page here, so you have to go up and down. 8. Let's see if we have an 8.
Philip,
Yeah.
Don't you have some completed auction?
Yeah, I've got some.
I have some on
here.
eBay.
You got
too.
some too?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear them.
I was looking at these on the Society's page. On eBay, I've got a Mighty Mac Civil War token that was graded, an EF-45. I brought $150.
I've
Everyone's
got
gonna
a,
buy it now.
I've got a Civil War Cincinnati, Ohio one. Trying to get the full listing so I can see it. There we go. What kind of? There was only one bid on it, but it went for $4,500. It's a F. Snyder Grocer, 55 Court Street, Cincinnati, Ohio. It is in a really nice
Well,
case.
that was a
by the
Union
way.
token.
It's
yeah.
graded though, isn't it?
It is. Let me
Yeah,
see.
it's graded.
Oh yeah,
in a-
yeah. It is. It's in a graded thing. It's MS62. So what would that be?
Mm-hmm.
And so like $4,500 for that one. It's in beautiful shape too.
So, Ronnie, you think you passed up on something? What's another high one you got, Ronnie? What's the highest one you got, Ronnie?
I've got
What's the highest
me.
price?
I got 24 excuse me, Civil War tokens here. Says nice variety, no reserve. Brought $535.52. 44 bids.
Well, you're on a.
I've got higher price ones than you do.
Well, you're looking at different pages now.
I've got
Well,
18
how'd you title yours?
Civil War token.
How'd you title yours, Ronnie?
Civil War tokens.
Well, what the
You got a
heck?
plural and I'm mine's singular.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah,
mine will-
take that out,
Mine
Ronnie.
will pick up all of them, and yours will just pick up the ones with more than
The
one.
multiples.
I
Okay,
got
now I've got the same thing you got.
I got an 1861 Chestnut and Walnut Passenger Railroad by Robert Lovett. It says it's good for one fare. They wanted $7,900 for it and took a best offer, but that was still
It was more than $4,500.
north of $4,500. Yeah, so that's. I like these holders they have. It's kind of like it's a white plastic.
They're
that
neat,
has
aren't
four fingers that come in that grip the coin and hold it. I haven't seen those.
So that must be to keep you from messing the coin up.
Yeah, and it keeps it separated from the edges. It's not like where
So
you
put
stick
your
it
fingers in
inside
it
the.
and turn it. Is what they're for.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's not like.
Oh, it's what now, Ronnie?
So you can put your fingers in those holes and turn around and look at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
what I
was
think.
gonna guess that it was so that you could see the condition of the edge better than
Well,
if you stuck
and-
it inside paper.
And you can turn the coin around
Okay.
without it being.
All right. What you got, Ronnie? What's the next one you got? You
Got
two rock
Abraham-
and roll between each other.
Got Abraham Lincoln Civil War token. I brought $2,150, 1864. It's got looks like I was trying to see what it looked like
So
on there.
flags and some spears and wagon wheels.
Is that an eagle with the flags? You know,
I don't think that's an eagle.
I don't know what that
Yeah.
is. That's trying to get it bigger so I can see
Yeah.
it.
Well, how much did it bring?
Didn't I say?
$2,150.
Mm-hmm.
Buy it now.
Yeah, I was just asking because I wasn't paying attention.
Here's another Ohio grocer, Hamilton, John Desner Family Grocery, number 12 High Street. 51 bids, $1,725.
I think it's time to take another break.
Yeah,
Just in a second.
We'll get her in.
Well, we got a finest known MS61 Cincinnati. Brought $1,725 with 44 bids.
Hey, with that, let's take this break. And by the way, Ronnie, I think you hit on something on these coins, but you shouldn't have passed them up when you was looking at
I
them.
know it. I didn't know what they were.
Well, you know now.
I know now.
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking.
All right, we're back, and we're talking about Civil War tokens, and we've still got some really nice ones pulled up here, and what I say is still bringing good money.
Yeah, New York Civil War Sutler Trade Token. This is Sutler 10. It's the 122nd Regiment. And it looks, I think the 10 means it's worth 10 cents.
And they were saying those Sutlers were the most
Were
sought
the
after
rare,
in the
yeah.
article.
17 bids, $1,700. Gosh, that is a lot for
A little bit. Now, this
For-
thing is just a little
a
token.
a
About that
regional
big, maybe.
10-cent piece.
Yeah.
Man, that is just a lot of money.
And see, we
I
should
wonder-
have we
wonder
should have been grabbing those up when we was young.
Well, there was some version of couches that was going around during that time. I wonder if they made their own coins for.
You know,
for people
coal
like
mines
that.
and stuff did.
Yeah.
You know, they actually had paper money too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had.
You
paper
know,
money.
you owe my soul to the country store. Remember that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that
Not
one.
the country
Or
store.
General.
The general store.
The
Company store.
Company store.
I
Company
was gonna say,
store.
trying to
Yeah.
give it all of us. We'll figure it
I
out.
had to listen to
Yeah, well, that's why we're running groups.
Yeah.
You got some more coins?
But we got it.
Hey, do you have any
got-
paper coins, or are they all tokens?
These are what we got here are tokens.
Yeah.
I've got a very high grade, says Cincinnati's lamp here. We saw one of those a while ago that brought good money. This one brought $1,475 with 40 bids.
I've got another Sutler token. It says Zoav on it. It's the 34th Regiment Ohio Volunteer Militia. That was a buy at 5 cents in goods. It says. Oh, I guess Zoav would be the store theory.
Yeah, that talked about those in the article you was reading.
So the buy it now on it was $1,650. Man,
Now that's some money
that's,
for a little token.
Ronnie, you run with this and let me see if I can find some Tennessee ones for
Okay,
you.
I've got another rare lamp here. This is Bearstein. Brought $1,325, and this one had 61 bids. They were all over it. And we have another Civil War token. It was an R9, graded MS62. I can't tell exactly what it says. That says president. And
George B.
can you tell what that says?
I don't know.
I think that might have been a general or something. But anyway, it brought I'd say in the $1,200 range, somewhere between 1107 and 1325.
All right, I got some Tennessee ones here.
All right.
I got a Sutler coin. It's the 2nd Regiment Tennessee Volunteers. 5 cent piece. This isn't very fancy and it's really worn down. It 19 bids on it though for $180. And then a Sutler, which is the STV State of Tennessee Volunteers. 10 bids on that went for $160.
Said that was an unknown sutler, didn't they?
Yeah, unknown Sutler. So it's just State of Tennessee Volunteers. We were known as the Volunteers back then. If nobody remembers that.
That might be where it come from.
And here is the 1975 Ox Silver Tennessee State Confederate Rebel flag coin token medal. That $8.
Now that didn't bring nothing.
And well, it was 1975.
Oh, okay. That was somebody.
It wasn't. That was somebody minting
That was a
their new
reprove.
version of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ones from Tennessee aren't worth thousands, but $160 for a 5-cent piece isn't bad either.
That's not bad at all.
Hey, but
Piece
think
of metal.
about what you said there earlier. You're the volunteer state.
Yeah.
If you remember the Alamo,
I was gonna say, yeah.
don't you remember we volunteered?
Oh, lots of those.
Yeah. So that was way before the Civil War. We was volunteering then. I wonder when we started volunteering.
I was thinking that was probably where the University of Tennessee come up with volunteers
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd say
from
so.
that
Probably
regiment.
Did you you ever volunteered for anything?
Never.
How come they call us the volunteer state? Is it because we volunteer so much, or do
Well,
you know?
because somebody else starts the war and then we volunteer.
Yeah. But we volunteer to do a lot of other stuff too,
Yeah.
don't we?
Let me. I'll look in here.
So what does it say?
Tennessee had several nicknames. The most popular is the volunteer state. The nickname originated during the War of 1812,
Oh, wow.
in which the volunteer soldiers from Tennessee serving under General Andrew Jackson displayed marked valor in the Battle of New Orleans. There you go.
So there you are. So we started in 1812, the
Yeah.
War of 1812,
And
and we hadn't
Jackson,
stopped.
Andrew Jackson, he was a general at the time. He was the one that came up with the name for us. So he was a Tennessee boy who named us that.
Yeah, but what else was Andrew Jackson?
Well,
Wasn't he a governor?
he was a
Wasn't
president.
he a governor and then president?
Was he a governor?
I think he was a governor of Tennessee at one time.
I did not know that.
Why don't you Google it and see if I'm right? See if he was.
Okay, y'all talk. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. While he's doing that, you go ahead and give us a few more coins. I'm trying to educate this boy.
Oh, we
a
got
little bit.
Andrew Jackson, governor. Let's
What?
see. When Florida was first acquired in the United States, future President Andrew Jackson served as its military governor. Florida.
Yeah.
He was
What
the
about
governor of
Tennessee?
Florida.
Military governor, though, that's where they're occupying.
Was he
That's an occupying
Was he a
army.
governor of Tennessee?
I do not believe he was. No, it doesn't say anything about it. It just says
Just
he was
Florida?
the first territorial governor of Florida. Yeah,
But he was the president, right?
he was. Yeah, we can agree on that.
Okay.
Yes,
I
was.
thought he was a Tennessee governor at one time.
Well, no, that's even stranger was that he was the Florida governor.
Huh. Yeah.
He was a congressman. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
From
he
Tennessee.
was. He was
Yeah.
congressman.
All right. Okay. That's where I got stepped aside there a little bit.
Okay.
What about Sam Houston? Wasn't he a
about him?
congressman too?
I know he died in Alamo.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying.
I
Well, wasn't Sam
couldn't-
Houston a congressman?
I couldn't tell you. It's Sam
Well, David
Houston.
Crockett was, right? David Crockett was.
That's
Yes,
true.
now I believe he was.
What about Sam Houston was a governor though?
I believe David Crockett
See if
was.
Sam Houston wasn't a governor. We're sidetracked right now, folks. But we'll get back on.
Sam Houston, an American soldier and politician.
Yeah.
We got that. Let's see.
Was he a
Some
governor?
highlights.
Go down to career.
U.S. congressman.
Yeah. I see Tennessee in there.
Yeah.
Is during World War 1812 successfully participated in Tennessee politics. Elected governor of Tennessee.
See? I
There
got
you
that
go.
right.
You know one of them was, didn't
Yeah.
you?
He resigned
Call
as
them all, you
governor
gonna get
and
one.
relocated to Arkansas.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because he got tired of arguing with him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I couldn't believe that. Let's see. Finally,
What?
he became the governor of Texas.
Yeah, he's the governor.
He is the only person to have been the governor of 2 states
Yeah,
through popular election.
yeah.
And only one governor to have, he's the only state governor to have been a foreign head of state. He refused to swear loyalty to the Confederacy when Texas seceded and moved from office, becoming a Southern Unionist in the process.
Isn't Texas technically still a territory? I
think
know we
so.
call them a state, but they won their independence
Well,
from
now,
Mexico.
in 1836, Texas was a country, its own country.
Right.
Because I got a map to prove that.
I know it was.
Really?
When
Yeah.
they won their independence from Mexico.
Yeah, I've got the map, a list of all the world countries, and Texas is a country in 1836.
And I believe technically they still
Really?
or something. I don't know what it is.
Well, here we are. We jumped from, but this is still,
Okay.
this is still,
If you're looking that up, I've got a a New York Civil War token for Marshall's Variety Stores, Oswego, New York, 1862. Brought $907.
yeah.
with
Hey, aren't
31
we getting
bits.
close to taking another break?
Probably.
Yeah, I
could
think
be.
we are.
I believe she'll let us know.
Is that
when it's-
right? One more break?
Here she comes.
We have to take one more.
Right.
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking.
All right, and we're back, and we have, as usual, gotten totally off track. And so what we're going to talk about is Philip's going to tell us about some flags, and then we're going to see what Sam
Flags.
Houston and
Six Flags.
Davy Crockett
Oh,
memorabilia is buying.
He done
Bring it.
forgot, Ronnie, what you were supposed to talk about.
All right.
Yeah, he got
You
off.
are a
He
young
got up
man.
on
All right,
code.
So the original Six Flags was in Texas, which I didn't realize that. I thought it was in Georgia, but anyway.
That's
So-
amusement park.
Yeah, well, the term Six Flags over Texas refers to all the nations that have ruled over the territory in its history. Spain was the first European country to claim the area of Texas. France held a short-lived colony. Mexico controlled it until 1836, and then Texas won its independence and became an independent republic. And in 1845, Texas joined the Union as the 28th state, and then they seceded from the Union and joined the Confederate States of America. So there you get your
Lot of history.
Six Flags over Texas. I don't know.
Okay, so we talked about Andrew Jackson and we've talked about Sam Houston. So why don't you start out with Sam Houston and you cross him up with Andrew Jackson on some prices of stuff that some of their stuff's brought.
Okay.
I have got a Sam Houston signed Texas Treasury warrant for protection of the frontier. And it brought $800, had 5 bids. And
Yeah, you do another one because he's
I've got a Houston, Texas, Republic of Texas, $50 Treasury note. I guess it was Sam Houston.
How much was it?
It's got Sam Houston's signature on it. Brought around $600, somewhere between $575 and $640. So
well, you got on
I've got
Andrew Jackson.
an 1828 Andrew Jackson presidential campaign poster.
Yeah, I bet
In
that's high dollar.
pretty decent shape. The buy it now on it was $5,000.
Did it sell?
Yeah, it's sold. Yeah. I've got
that
a
brought big money.
Rachel Jackson, Andrew's wife, offering her husband's power. It's a letter that she wrote to somebody. 2 bids on that went for $3,750.
You know, they found a secret room in Andrew Jackson's
In the Hermitage?
in the Hermitage, where his mistress used to be. He owned her and her family, you know, and she has several children with her after his wife died.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what was
He
the
took
secret
her-
room?
They found it just here recently. when they was doing some.
Is anything in it?
Remodel.
Well, it was a room that she lived in. You know, it had a
Oh,
fireplace.
she lived. Oh,
Yeah.
Who was it?
I can't think of her name, but if you look, you can look it up there.
Huh.
And had several children with her.
Lobby dog.
I've got a Andrew Jackson signed letter, the first in peace, the first in war. Part of that, 10 bids on that one for $3,000. Here's an Andrew Jackson letter where he's considering loaning his nephew money.
Considering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess his nephew has asked him for money, so he's responding back where he's considering it. They were asking $1,900, and they got more than $1,600, so they got pretty close to that. Here's an Andrew Jackson signed document when he was a general. 5 bids on that. That was a Swan auction.
Yeah.
Major General.
$1,600 after 5 bids. 1832 Indian War engraved powder horn. Owned by Andrew Jackson, they say. They were asking $2,000, and they got somewhere around $1,200 or $1,300
They'd have to prove
for
to
it.
me that he owned it.
That's a bit of a stretch on there. Maybe there's something
They'd have to have it.
to show that,
Yeah, that's
that
what
you're
they'd have to have.
legitimate. Andrew Jackson signed ornately engraved ship's passport for a ship. 9 bids on that was $1,100. Andrew Jackson, a land grant that he signed as president, where he was, back then you could still ask for land if you were willing to travel a little west to go get it.
Yeah, and serve.
Yeah.
How much that bring?
Well, they were asking $1,250, and probably got about $1,000 for it.
Okay. Well, look here. It looks like some tokens or something right there. What is that?
2008 Andrew Jackson presidential dollar set. MS-69 rare U.S. mint. That's a legitimate U.S. mint coin. They were asking $1,000 and got somewhere in the 900s probably. Here's a cut signature, Andrew Jackson's signature, PSA DNA authenticated. It's they were asking $1,000 and got somewhere in like the $800 range. 1843 Andrew Jackson Free Frank. It looks like where he's just addressed a letter. 4 bids on that, $775. His signature is bringing some money. Here's an Andrew Jackson signed document from the War of 1812. 5 bids, $750.
Ronnie, do you have any high dollar Sam Houston stuff besides the 1 or 2 that you said?
There's not a lot on here.
Okay.
I have another government of Texas $10 note. They signed Sam Houston, $511,
Yeah.
16 bids.
But that was printed though, right?
Yeah, mostly I'm getting fire hats here.
Yeah.
You're getting fire hazards.
Fire hats.
Oh,
HATS.
What's that right there, Philip?
this is a
It's going to be our last item.
Andrew
so make it
Jackson,
good. We got 2 minutes.
1829 autographed land grant for Jeremiah Davis in Crawfordsville, Indiana. Let me see if we can get the description. The 1829 land grant signed by President Andrew Jackson and Commissioner of the General Land Office, George Graham. This is certificate number 7055, granting 88 acres to Jeremiah Davis of Warren County, registered in Crawfordville, Indiana on April 2nd, 1829.
Warren County, Indiana.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It has Andrew Jackson's clear, bold signature and the presidential seal. This 10 by 15 and 7/8 document is a thick paper, possibly vellum. The presidential seal is intact with a red backing. It has its original 2 folds and recording information on the back. We believe it is in excellent, if not extraordinary condition. No tears, spots, or damages. It is clear, easy to read, and an exceptional find. My friend grew up with this in her family home. To her knowledge, she has no ancestors named Davis. It has been carefully stored away for decades. Now she's moving and willing to part with some of her
How much did it weigh?
treasures. Hang on. FYI, Jeremiah Davis was a successful man. On a separate listing at this time, I also have his 1826 land grant signed by John Quincy Adams.
Bobby Dog. Evidently, he was a
So
success.
it sold for $1,000. So I wonder if, I guess people in Tennessee probably don't have land grants documents unless they moved back.
No, I've got one.
Okay.
I've got one.
Well,
Matter
is
of
it
fact,
related to your family, or is it just
I've got
something
one
you
that
picked
he
up?
actually signed. No,
Okay.
a local family though.
Oh,
and I also got a land grant from Sam Houston.
Really? Okay. Awesome.
What do you think about that?
Well, that's pretty nice. I'd like to see
You
one
wanna see 'em?
sometime. Yeah, I'd like to see one
Anytime.
sometime.
I'll tell you what. You can look at them while I'm hunting your camera at the house.
There you go.
There you go.
There it is. Boys,
Hey,
next week,
we have to go.
you want to come back next week and talk about old stuff?
We do.
yeah.